Well, here we are. Week 4. It's been a lot of fun. There's still a few more days left. I've got a party tomorrow. Don't know what I'm going to do Sunday. Monday is Halloween. And I have to watch Halloween 3 that day. Not sure what sort of video I'm going to do for that. If not, I don't know. Whatever happens will happen. Anyway, on with the show. Day 22, as you may know, I watched Rocky Horror in a theater with a crowd. If you ever get a chance, just do it. Beyond that, do you really need me to tell you about the movie? The Secret Village is awful. I don't even know what was going on in this movie. I watched, I paid attention, but it's so disjointed, so poorly edited, you don't know what's going on. And not in an unsettling, creepy, horror movie, it's meant to be that way kind of way. It's just genuinely confusing because there are so many scenes that are either flashbacks or dreams or happening somewhere else, but you don't know. None of it makes any sense. There are scenes that repeat themselves multiple times. Like, they'll happen, and then less than a minute later, you'll flash back to that same scene with very little changed. Like, the camera's slightly over from where it was before, so it's technically a different scene, but it's the same damn scene. Oh, and spoiler alert, the whole thing was a hallucination. The main character was actually suffering poisoning. But that doesn't make any sense, because there was strange shit going on in scenes where she wasn't in it. So was that a flashback? Was that a dream? Was that something in her mind? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It was awful. Oh, and it had that one guy in it. That's the most notable part of the whole movie, is that one guy. He's that guy that's in everything. Yeah, that guy. After The Secret Village, I needed something more fun. Waxwork did the trick. To be honest, I chose this movie. I was just looking through a list of movies and I saw an actor's name, Miles O'Keefe. While he's not a particularly notable actor, he sticks out in my mind just because I'm a Cinema Snob fan, and I remember a particular joke that he made about his name. That was pretty much it, but I went with it, and I really enjoyed it. Going in, I sort of expected it to be like a knockoff of House of Wax, but it was so much more than that. This owner of a wax museum has all these horror scenes set up. Characters from fiction and history, and each of the scenes is actually a portal into a little pocket dimension where these people exist. And if you step past the barrier of the exhibit, you'll be transported into that portal and killed by them. So each of the death scenes in this movie was like it was taken out of another movie, which really gave a lot of variety to the film. It was unique and a lot of fun. Characters like Dracula, and the Wolfman, and the Mummy, and the Marquis de Sade. Well, they threw that one in there. But they were all in it, and each of them had a really unique and fun death scene. Definitely worth watching. This came off of the DVD that I picked up at Walmart that has all these 80s movies on it. It's the disc that has 976 Evil and The Unholy. So far, everything I've seen on that disc has been great. I'd say that was $5 well spent. Day 25, I added to my list of Stephen King adaptations that I've seen. There's a lot of them out there. I still haven't seen them all. Cat's Eye is a series of 3 short films linked together by a stray cat who appears in each of the shorts and has a much major role in the third short. First one has James Woods in it. Can't go wrong there. That one's a lot of fun, actually, about a guy who's trying to quit smoking using a company that psychologically tortures him to keep him from smoking. It's very Stephen King. The second story is about a guy who's forced to walk around a thin ledge on the top story of a building. It's it's a little nerve-wracking watching it, actually. You feel for the guy, and it does what it's supposed to do. But I'd say it's the weakest of the 3 stories, which is something I've actually noticed in most things. When you have a trilogy, the second one tends to be the weakest. I don't know, maybe you've got another opinion. Feel free to talk about it. And then the third part is where the cat really comes into it. A young Drew Barrymore finds the stray cat and uses him to protect her at night from the troll that lives in her wall, that comes out at night to steal her breath. This was fun, especially when you get the epic fight scene between the cat and the troll. You really find yourself rooting for the cat. It's good. Although the very end worried me. I seriously thought the cat was going to eat her face. Even so, just the cat licking her lips while she slept creeped me out. As far as Stephen King adaptations go, this was at least a hell of a lot better than 1408. IMDb labels it as a horror, among other things, but it does label it as horror, so I'm counting it. Although, on first glance, I would not call this a horror movie. This is a comic book movie. And it is. It's a DC comic character. But the movie was written and directed by Wes Craven. It's kind of your standard comic book movie. A scientist suffers an accident after experimenting on something, turns into a creature with strong powers. Evil syndicate wants the potion to be evil. Love interest loves him despite the fact that he's a monster. Is it odd that that's considered standard? Day 27, I watched a movie called Carnival of Souls. But I didn't just watch Carnival of Souls, I watched it with the riff tracks, live in a theater. That is the only way to watch this movie. Although I've got a friend who would disagree, I can't imagine actually watching this movie on its own without a riff tracks commentary. It is incredibly slow, incredibly plotting. Actors who forget how to be human, basically. A lot of the jokes they were making about the main character was how she walked and everything was just very robotic. Like this scene where she was walking downstairs and they were making robot whirring noises with each step because she was taking each step very cautiously and carefully as if she were a robot trying to navigate the stairs. Not too much to say about this movie. There's some decent zombie makeup, very subdued style, and a sort of a twister ending that I pretty much expected from the beginning. But it was riff tracks. It was a lot of fun. I've yet to see a riff tracks that I didn't like. May is an awkward movie. I loved it, but damn. There are so many scenes in here, I just want to hide my face. I can't look at it. I have a thing about awkward situations in movies and TV shows. Sitcoms are notorious for this kind of thing. There are so many moments in sitcoms where I have to change the channel or walk away or something because the characters make complete fools of themselves and I just can't stand it for some reason. It irks me. The main character in this movie is so awkward, but so endearing. Until she snaps and kills a bunch of people. And honestly, that's when I liked her the most. That's when she stopped being awkward. She really kind of gained a sense of social skill. And it's when she goes to start killing people. It's, you know, whatever you want to make of that. She's a very awkward character who, after a series of failed social interactions, just snaps and decides to make a life-size doll out of the best parts of the people she knows. This is labeled as a comedy as well as a horror, and rightfully so. I think my favorite scene is right at the moment when she snaps, when she suddenly loses all timidity, her shy, squeaky voice goes away, and she just kind of owns it. There was something about that that just struck me as really well done. And it truly was. When she becomes a killer is when I found her to be the most likable. Maybe that says more about me than the movie. I don't know. So that's week 4. There's still a couple days left in October. And I don't know if I'm going to be doing a video for those or not. I will continue posting on Twitter, so go ahead and, if you haven't already followed me, go ahead and do that at Prince Dustpan. Link in the description below. And I will be posting the movies that I'll be watching for the rest of the month. Beyond that, I don't know. The future's wide open. I'm really, really hoping to have some other videos on here very soon. There's something I want to post on or before Election Day. So keep an eye out for that. Go ahead and subscribe so that you'll be notified as soon as it gets posted. And until then, I'm Prince Dustpan, and I'll see you later. I really got to work on this sign out thing and really hone this. This is awkward.